September 1944. Brussels is burning with revenge. The Germans are fleeing, the resistance is hunting, and in apartments across the city, collaborators are waiting for the knock on the door. Georges Remi sits in his studio. He is 40 years old. He is the most famous cartoonist in Belgium. He is the creator of Tintin, the beloved boy reporter with the quiff of hair and the little white dog. Millions of children have grown up reading his adventures, and now the men with guns are coming for him. He can hear them in the streets below, the White Brigade, resistance fighters who spent 4 years hiding in cellars, watching their friends be tortured, watching their families be deported. Now they are free, and they are angry. They are dragging collaborators into the streets, women who slept with Germans, their heads shaved, paraded through jeering crowds. Men who informed for the Gestapo, beaten, sometimes shot. Georges Remi, known to the world as Hergé, knows his name is on a list. For 4 years, he drew cartoons for a Nazi-controlled newspaper. For 4 years, his cheerful comic strips ran alongside headlines celebrating SS victories. For 4 years, while the Gestapo tortured resistance fighters in the cellars below, he sat in a warm office, dipping his pen in ink. He was not a Nazi. He was not a killer. He was something more common, something more cowardly. He was a collaborator. And now the bill has come due. To understand what Hergé became, you must first understand what Belgium was, and what it became when the Germans arrived. May 10th, 1940. The Blitzkrieg begins. German Stukas scream over Brussels. Bombs fall on airfields. Panzers pour through the Ardennes. The Belgian army, unprepared, undertrained, collapses in days. King Leopold III surrenders on May 28th. 18 days. That is how long Belgium lasted. The roads are clogged with refugees, millions of people fleeing south, toward France, toward safety. They carry suitcases, they push carts, they drag children. German aircraft strafe the columns. Bombs fall on bridges. The dead are left where they fall. Among the refugees is Georges Remi. He is 33 years old. He has been drawing Tintin for over a decade. He is famous. He is comfortable. Now he is running like everyone else. He makes it to France. He waits. He hopes the Allies will counterattack, that the Germans will be pushed back, that everything will return to normal. It does not. France falls in 6 weeks. The armistice is signed. Belgium is now part of the Greater German Reich, and Georges Remi has a choice to make. He returns to Brussels. The city is changed. German soldiers patrol the streets. Swastika flags hang from public buildings. German is now the language of power. The occupation has begun. Before the war, Hergé worked for a newspaper called Le XXe siècle, a Catholic conservative paper, respectable, nationalistic. That paper is gone now, but another paper remains, Le Soir, the largest newspaper in Belgium, 1 million readers before the war. When the Germans arrived, the legitimate owners of Le Soir fled. The Nazis seized the presses. They installed collaborators as editors. The newspaper became Le Soir Volé, the stolen evening, a propaganda organ of the occupation. Hergé needs work. He has a wife. He has expenses. He has a reputation to maintain. He walks into the offices of Le Soir Volé. He sees the German officers. He sees the collaborators. He sees what this newspaper has become. He sits down at a desk. He picks up his pen. He starts drawing Tintin. This is the moment. This is the choice. He could have said no. He could have found other work. He could have done what thousands of other Belgians did, resist quietly, refuse to serve the occupier. He did not. He dipped his pen in ink, but he was signing in blood. Life under German occupation is a slow suffocation. Food is rationed. Coal is scarce. Curfews are enforced. The Gestapo watches everything. Informers are everywhere. A careless word can mean arrest. A Jewish friend can mean deportation. An act of resistance can mean death. The Belgian people learn to keep their heads down, to survive, to wait. And while they wait, they read. They read Le Soir Volé because it is the only major newspaper. They read the propaganda because there is nothing else. And they read Tintin because Tintin is escape. Hergé understands this. He understands that people need distraction. He gives them adventures, mysteries, exotic locations. Tintin in Tibet, Tintin in South America, Tintin anywhere but here, anywhere but occupied Belgium, anywhere but the real world where the Gestapo operates and Jews disappear. The sales explode. Tintin becomes more popular than ever before. Hergé becomes rich, while Brussels starves, while families burn furniture for heat, while children go to bed hungry. Hergé lives well. He has a nice apartment. He has a comfortable studio. He has money. All because he draws for the occupier. But there is a price. There is always a price. 1942. Hergé publishes a new Tintin adventure, L'Étoile Mystérieuse, the shooting star. On the surface, it is a simple adventure. A meteor is approaching Earth. Scientists race to study it. Tintin joins an expedition. Exciting, innocent, fun. But look closer. Look at the villain. His name is Blumenstein. He is a banker. He is greedy. He is scheming. He has a hooked nose. He has dark features. He rubs his hands together when he talks about money. He is a Jewish caricature, straight from the pages of Nazi propaganda. This is not an accident. In 1942, the Holocaust is beginning. Jews are being rounded up across Europe. Deportation trains are leaving from Mechelen, 20 miles from Brussels. The gas chambers are operating. And Hergé draws a greedy Jewish villain. There is more. The good guys in the shooting star sail under a flag that looks remarkably like the Axis powers. The bad guys sail under an American flag. The symbolism is clear. Even in a children's comic, the propaganda seeps through. Was Hergé an anti-Semite? He always denied it. He said Blumenstein was just a stock character. He said he did not think about the implications. He said he was just an artist. But that is the point. He did not think. He did not care. He drew what would sell. He drew what would please his Nazi employers. He drew what was safe. And in doing so, he added his voice to the chorus of hate. The ink was poisoned, and Hergé kept dipping his pen. There is a man who haunts this story, a shadow that falls across every page Hergé drew during the occupation. His name is Léon Degrelle. Degrelle is Belgian. He is charismatic, handsome, a brilliant speaker. Before the war, he founded the Rexist Party, a fascist movement, Catholic, nationalist, authoritarian. He admired Mussolini. He admired Hitler. He wanted Belgium to join the new order. When the Germans arrived, Degrelle saw his opportunity. He volunteered for the Eastern Front. He raised a unit of Belgian fascists, the Walloon Legion, later incorporated into the SS. He fought in Russia. He won medals. He became a hero of the Nazi cause. Hitler himself said, "If I had a son, I would want him to be like Degrelle." Degrelle knew Hergé. They moved in the same circles before the war. Catholic conservatives, Belgian nationalists, men who feared communism more than fascism. Degrelle claimed that Tintin was based on his younger brother, the quiff of hair, the boyish energy, the fearless adventurer. He saw Tintin as a fascist hero. Whether Hergé agreed, we do not know, but he did not object. He did not distance himself. He kept drawing. Every week,
Le Soir Volé publishes Tintin adventures. And every week, the same newspaper publishes headlines celebrating Nazi victories. SS heroes defeat Bolshevik hordes. Degrelle awarded Knight's Cross. Final solution to the Jewish question proceeding. You cannot read Tintin without seeing the hate. The comic strips are surrounded by propaganda. The innocent adventure is framed by genocide. Hergé knows this. He cannot not know. But he keeps drawing. Because the money is good. Because the alternative is poverty. Because stopping would require courage. And Hergé is not a courageous man. The resistance notices. They cannot touch Le Soir Volé directly, but they can mock it. 1944, an underground publication appears, Tintin in the Land of the Nazis, a parody. It shows Tintin as a collaborator, a fool, a traitor. It mocks Hergé by name. It is distributed secretly, passed from hand to hand, read in cellars and back rooms. Hergé sees a copy. He is terrified. He knows what this means. The resistance knows who he is. They know what he has done. When the liberation comes, they will remember. He keeps drawing anyway. What else can he do? He is in too deep. The only way out is through. To understand Hergé's crime, you must understand what was happening in Belgium while he drew his cartoons. Mechelen, a transit camp 20 miles from Brussels. 25,000 Jews passed through Mechelen, men, women, children. They arrived in trucks, in trains, in cattle cars. They were processed, numbered, loaded onto trains heading east, to Auschwitz. Of the 25,000 Jews deported from Belgium, only 1,200 survived. The rest were gassed, burned, erased. This happened while Hergé drew Tintin. This happened while Le Soir Volé celebrated SS victories. This happened while Blumenstein rubbed his hooked nose and schemed for money. Did Hergé know about the camps? He claimed he did not. He claimed no one knew. This is a lie. Everyone knew something. The deportation trains left in broad daylight. The Jews disappeared and never came back. The rumors filtered through occupied Europe like poison gas. Hergé chose not to see. He chose not to ask. He chose to keep his head down and his pen moving. This is the collaborator's defense. I did not know. I was just doing my job. I was not political. But silence is a choice. Ignorance is a choice. And drawing cartoons for a Nazi newspaper while your neighbors are being loaded onto cattle cars, that is a choice too. September 3rd, 1944. The British Army enters Brussels. The occupation is over. The city explodes with joy. Flags appear. Crowds gather. Soldiers are kissed in the streets. 4 years of fear are over. But 4 years of rage are just beginning. The Epuration begins. The purge. Collaborators are hunted. Women who slept with Germans are dragged into the streets. Their heads are shaved.
They are paraded through crowds who spit and scream. Men who worked for the Nazis are arrested, tried. Some are shot. The fury is indiscriminate. Some collaborators deserve their fate. Some are innocent, victims of personal grudges and false accusations. Justice and revenge become indistinguishable. Hergé waits. He knows his name is on lists. He knows the White Brigade has files. He knows what he did. The knock comes. He is arrested 4 times. 4 times. Men with guns come to his door. 4 times he is taken to holding cells. 4 times he sees other collaborators dragged away, some to prison, some to firing squads. He spends a night in a damp cell. He does not sleep. He hears the sounds of the prison, the weeping, the screaming, the shots. He wonders if he will be next. He is interrogated. You worked for Le Soir Volé. Yes. You drew cartoons for a Nazi newspaper. I drew Tintin. It was not political. Everything was political. He gives his defense. The same defense 1,000 collaborators have given. I was just a craftsman. I needed to feed my family. I did not support the Nazis. I just worked for them. The interrogators are not impressed, but they have bigger targets. Men who informed for the Gestapo. Men who tortured resistance fighters. Men who sent Jews to the camps. Hergé is small fish. A cartoonist. A coward. Not worth a bullet. He is released, but he is not forgiven. He is labeled incivique, a non-citizen. He cannot vote. He cannot hold public office. He cannot work for legitimate publications. He is a pariah, an outcast. The creator of Belgium's most beloved character, now the most hated man in Belgian culture. The war is over, but for Hergé, the nightmare is just beginning. He falls into depression, deep, crushing, suffocating. He cannot draw, he cannot create. He sits in his studio and stares at blank pages. He has nightmares. He calls them the Great White Spaces. Vast, empty landscapes of snow and ice. He wanders through them, alone, searching for something he cannot name. He wakes up screaming. His psychiatrist tells him the dreams are guilt. The white spaces are his conscience, blank and cold, waiting to be filled with something.
waiting for him to acknowledge what he did. He never does. Not fully. The years pass, slowly, painfully. His reputation begins to recover. Tintin is too popular to be erased. Children still love the boy reporter. Parents still buy the books. The world wants to forget the war. And Hergé is happy to help them forget. He revises his old work. Blumenstein becomes Bollwinkel. The hooked nose is softened. The Jewish caricature is erased. He pretends it never happened. He gives interviews. He speaks of Tintin's values, adventure, courage, friendship. He does not speak of le Soir Volé. He does not speak of the deportation trains. He does not speak of the night in the cell. The silence becomes his armor. If he does not speak of it, perhaps it did not happen. If he does not acknowledge it, perhaps he is not guilty. 1983. Hergé dies. He is 75 years old. By now, Tintin is a global phenomenon. 200 million books sold, translated into 70 languages, beloved by children on every continent. Steven Spielberg calls Tintin one of the greatest characters in world literature. The books are studied in universities. The art is displayed in museums. Hergé is remembered as a genius, a master of the ligne claire style, a pioneer of the graphic novel, a Belgian national treasure. But the stain remains. Every few years, someone publishes an article, The Dark Side of Tintin. Hergé, artist or collaborator? The Nazi connection. The defenders rush forward.
He was just trying to survive.
He was not political.
You cannot judge him by today's standards.
The accusers respond. He had a choice. He profited from the occupation. His silence was complicity. The debate never ends, because there is no clean answer. Can you separate the art from the artist? This is the question that haunts every discussion of Hergé. Tintin is innocent, a boy reporter who fights villains and saves the day. He is brave. He is kind. He is everything Hergé was not. But Tintin was born in collaboration. His adventures ran alongside Nazi propaganda. His popularity was built on a newspaper stolen from its rightful owners. His creator prospered while his countrymen starved. When you read Tintin, can you forget this? Should you forget this? There are no easy answers. Some people refuse to read Tintin. They cannot look at the ligne claire without seeing the deportation trains. They cannot enjoy the adventures without remembering Blumenstein.
Others separate the work from the man. They love Tintin, they condemn Hergé. They hold both truths at once. And some, perhaps most, simply do not care. They read the books to their children, they enjoy the stories, they do not think about the war. This is the collaborators' victory. The silence wins. The past is forgotten, the ink dries clean. Brussels, 1944. A man sits in a studio, waiting for the knock on the door. He is not a monster, he is not a hero. He is something more common. A man who wanted to keep his comfortable life. A man who did not want to take risks. A man who kept his head down and his pen moving while the world burned around him. His name was Georges Remi. The world knew him as Hergé. He created one of the most beloved characters in history, and he did it by signing a deal with the devil.
When the war ended, he was not shot, he was not imprisoned. He was labeled incivique and released. He went on to become rich and famous.
He died in his bed, surrounded by admirers. The resistance fighters who hid in cellars, who were tortured by the Gestapo, who watched their families be deported. Many of them did not survive, and the ones who did had to watch Hergé become a national hero. This is the truth about collaboration. It is not always punished. It is not always remembered. Sometimes, the collaborators win. Tintin stands on bookshelves around the world. Bright covers, clean lines, innocent adventures. Millions of children read him every year. They do not know about Le Soir Volé. They do not know about Blumenstein. They do not know about the night in the cell. The silence continues. The ink dries clean. And the ghost of Hergé, the collaborator behind the boy reporter, smiles from the white spaces. If this story made you think, hit that subscribe button, because history is not always heroes and villains. Sometimes it is ordinary people making ordinary choices that add up to something monstrous. Next time on Iron Witness, the doctor who saved thousands of lives by lying to the Nazis about a fake epidemic.